Prime is brought to you by
Misho, Wa, Andeki Variety, Ansuni Dam.
Sterling Reserve Come Alive and Himalaya Purifying Neem Face Wash, pimple free healthy skin ka expert.
Stage set for presidential polls tomorrow. Ruling opposition make last-ditch effort to garner support for respective candidates. Assam BJP reaches out to opposition parties. Divide between AIUDF and Congress comes to the fore a day ahead of presidential polls. Bhupen Bora's days as APCC president numbered, says AIUDF chief Badruddin Ajmal. Party pledges support to opposition presidential candidates. Aksum raises Hill Areas Autonomous District Council bill issue in Manipur again, says HAD must for all-round development of hill areas. One more body recovered from landslide tragedy site in Manipur's Nonne district. Search intensified for remaining bodies. And 17 opposition parties unanimously back senior Congress leader Margaret Alva as a vice presidential candidate. Alva to face NDA nominee Jagdeep Dhankar. Hello and welcome to Evening Prime. I am Pooja and we start the bulletin with a big story. The stage is set for the crucial presidential polls tomorrow, with the NDA as well as opposition both confident of a win. It's a battle between NDA candidate Draupadi Murmu and opposition's joint candidate Yashwant Sinha. While the NDA candidate Murmu, former governor of Jharkhand, is likely to have the last laugh, her counterpart Sinha is undoubtedly a strong candidate with years of experience in administration and politics, inter alia his role as Finance Minister and External Affairs Minister of India. Needless to say, both candidates have travelled across the country in the past few days to garner support for their candidature. But who stands where the race to Raisina Hills takes? Well, let us take a look into the brief political profile of both candidates. As the first presidential candidate from Odisha of a major political party or alliance, Draupadi Murmu continues to break barriers. Coming from a poor tribal family in the village of Mayurbhanj, a backward district in Odisha, Murmu completed her studies despite challenging circumstances. She started her political career as a Rairangpur NAC vice chairman. Murmu was a member of Odisha Legislative Assembly from Rairangpur between 2000 and 2004. The Odisha Assembly honoured her with Nilakant Award for Best MLA. Whereas 84-year-old Yashwant Sinha, who quit BJP after being apparently sidelined, was the Minister of Finance between 1990 to 1991, when Prime Minister Chandrasekhar was in office. He was again the Minister of Finance in between March 1998 July 2002 under Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. He was also the Minister of External Affairs between July 2002 to May 2004. Sinha was also an IS officer who spent over 24 years holding important posts during his service tenure. Worth mentioning here that with many of the regional parties outside NDA ambit supporting Murmu, the presidential elections may be seen as a precursor to the Lok Sabha elections in 2024. Meanwhile, ahead of the presidential polls, opposition candidate Yashwant Sinha appealed to the MPs and MLAs to vote according to the constitution and their conscience. In a video message shot on the Rajpath in the national capital, he reiterated that this year the presidential election is not a contest between two individuals, but two ideologies. He reached out to all lawmakers, saying the constitution provides that the vote will be secret and there will be no party whip which means that they can individually determine who they want to vote for.
मैं जितने इस चुनाव में वोटर्स हैं, एमपीज हैं, एमएलएज हैं, उनसे मैं अपील करता हूं कि संविधान की व्यवस्था के अनुसार वो अपने विवेक का इस्तेमाल करें और अगर वो वोट मुझे देते हैं, मुझे विजयी बनाते हैं, तो मैं उनसे वादा करता हूं कि मैं संविधान की रक्षा के लिए जो भी आवश्यक कदम होगा वो अवश्य उठाऊंगा। इस चुनाव में जैसा कि आप अवगत हैं, पार्टियों की तरफ से कोई व्हिप जारी नहीं होता है और जो वोट है वो सीक्रेट है। इस व्यवस्था करने के पीछे जो संविधान के निर्माताओं का उद्देश्य था वो यह था कि जितने भी एमपीज एंड एमएलएज हैं इस देश में, वो इस चुनाव में अपने विवेक का इस्तेमाल करें और जो उचित समझते हैं वही कदम उठाएं।
Meanwhile, BJP MLAs in Assam today campaigned for NDA presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu ahead of the crucial voting tomorrow. BJP ministers Sanjay Kishan, Rupesh Gwala, Teres Gwala and Morioni MLA Rupjyoti Kurmi, among others, reached out to opposition party leaders seeking support for Murmu. The group of BJP leaders visited the residences of CLP leader Debabrata Saikia, Congress MLA Kamalakhya De Purkastia, AIUDF chief Badruddin Ajmal, AIUDF MLA Rafiqul Islam and other opposition leaders while campaigning for Murmu.
আদিবাসী সমাজৰ মহিলা আৰু বিশেষভাৱে আদিবাসী লোকসকলৰ প্ৰতি সন্মান জনাই আৰু মহিলা এগৰাকীৰ প্ৰতি সন্মান জনাই যে আমি বিচাৰো অসমৰ পৰা অন্য ৰাজ্যত কি হয় নাজানো অসমত অত্যন্ত আমি এগৰাকী মহিলা আৰু এগৰাকী আদিবাসী সম্প্ৰদায়ৰ লোক সন্তান এগৰাকীক আমি যেন 100% ভোট দিব পাৰো। ইয়াত কোনো অন্য কথা নাহে, ৰাজনীতিৰ কথা নাহে। যেহেতু ৰাষ্ট্ৰপতি প্ৰাৰ্থী বা ৰাষ্ট্ৰপতি নিৰ্বাচন, সেয়ে আমি আহ্বান জনাবলৈ আমি অন্য আমাৰ বিৰোধী দলপতি আৰু বিৰোধী দলৰ বিধায়কসকলৰ ওচৰলৈ যাম। আমি আশা ৰাখিছো যে আমি ভাৰতবৰ্ষৰ উচ্চ এই স্থানৰ বাবে যেন সকলোৱে সঁহাৰি জনায়, সেইটো আশাৰে আমি আহিছো।
আমি বিচাৰিছো ভাৰতবৰ্ষৰ অসমৰ যিসকল ভোটাধিকাৰ আছে, বিশেষকৈ MP MLA সকলে ভোট প্ৰদান কৰক আৰু ইতিমধ্যে বহুত কেইখন ৰাজ্যত বিৰোধীও ভোট দিম বুলি এটা চিন্তা চৰ্চা কৰিছে আৰু কংগ্ৰেছৰ বহুত কেইটা ভোট আমি পাম বুলি আশা কৰিছো, UDFৰো দিব বুলি আশা কৰিছো, আহ্বান কৰিছো। চাওক কথাটো এনেকুৱা, এই ভোটটো সেইটো ভোট নহয় ন, এই ভোটটো হ'ল ৰাষ্ট্ৰখনৰ ভোট। ইয়াতে যোনেই ভোট দিব আমি সকলোৰে ভোট বিচাৰিম, ইয়াত নেলাগে বুলি কথা নাই। এইটোতো ৰাজ্যসভাৰ ভোট নহয়, বিৰোধী সকলোৰে ভোট বিচাৰিছো, আমি স্পেচিফিক আৰু কোৱা নাই।
Meanwhile, the difference between the AIUDF and the Congress has come to the fore ahead of presidential polls. AIUDF chief Badruddin Ajmal, while asserting that his party will maintain its anti-BJP stand and support the opposition presidential candidate, lashed out at the Congress in Assam. Ajmal alleged that the Assam Congress is acting at the behest of the BJP and targeting AIUDF bastions. Not only this, Ajmal claimed that he is in touch with AICC leaders, even as he made a big revelation that Bhupen Bora's days as the Assam Congress chief are numbered and that the latter has no locus standi to speak against the AIUDF.
সবেই যাব লাগে, ভোট বিচাৰি আহিছে, কৰিব লাগে। একজন ট্ৰাইবেল মহিলা ভূপেন বৰাই যদি খাদ্দাৰ কৈছে, এই ফানি যদি খাদ্দাৰ কৈছে, আমি কোৰ্টত যাম, লাগে হাইকোর্ট নয় সুপ্রিম কোর্ট লেগে যাম। খাদ্দার লফজ ইস্তেমাল কৰিব নোৱাৰে পলিটিক্সত, এইটো আমি চ্যালেঞ্জ কৰিম। বুজি পাইছে নেকি? এইটো এনেকুৱা নাযাব, বহুত এইটো হ'ব যে কালিৰ ইলেকশ্যনত আমি কোন সাইডে থাকিম, কাক আমি ভোট দিম, এইটো আমাৰ পাৰ্টিৰ ক্লিয়াৰ ডিচিশ্যন হৈ গৈছে। এইটো আপোনালোকৰ মাধ্যমতে আমি গোটেই অসমত জনাই দিলোঁ। এতিয়া মোৰ কথাটো হ'ল, ইণ্টাৰভিউটো হৈ গৈছে, আপোনালোক গৈছে, আমি আগে খবৰ লৈছোঁ। খালি আমাৰ ইয়াত আহিছে নেকি, কোনো ষড়যন্ত্ৰ হ'ব নেকি? মিডিয়া ইয়াত আছে, দেখাই দিব বোলে আজমল সাহেবটো বিজেপিৰ লগত গ'ল, কৈছে না আমি দেৱব্ৰত শইকীয়াৰ তাত গৈছোঁ, আপোনাৰ ইয়াতো আহিছোঁ। তাৰপিছত মই ঘৰৰ পৰা ওলাইছোঁ। আমাৰ আগৰ পৰাই বিজেপি বিৰুদ্ধে আমাৰ স্থিতি আগৰ পৰা আছে। জন্মৰ দিন পৰা আছে, আপোনালোকে জানে আমাৰ এন্টি বিজেপি ষ্টেণ্ড আছে আমাৰ, আৰু এইটোৰ ওপৰত আমি যি হওক যেনেকৈ হওক, কংগ্ৰেছে যিমান বেয়া কওক আৰু পাৰক, সিসকলেতো পলিটিক্স কৰি আছে, আমি পলিটিক্স কৰা নাই, আমি আমাৰ লাইনত আছো। এতিয়াই মই শুনিছো কোন একজন ভাইয়ে কৈছে বোলে যে ভূপেন বৰা বিজি কৈছে UDF গদ্দাৰ পাৰ্টি। গদ্দাৰ যদি কৈ থাকে মই আপোনালোকৰ মাধ্যমত আমি চেক কৰিম, যদি হয় আপুনি হাইকোৰ্টৰ পৰা লৈ আমি কি নাম তোমাৰ সুপ্ৰিম কোর্টে আমি যাম, চ্যালেঞ্জ করি ভূপেন বরা যদি কৈ থাকে। হি কোন সন্দেহ করেন না, হি কোন, হু ইজ হি? আমার ইন্টিগ্রিটির উপরে সন্দেহ কৰিব ভূপেন বৰা, হু ইজ হি? হি নিজৰ চাকৰি ফিকিৰ কৰক, কিমান দিন আৰু আছে এইটো চিন্তা কৰক। বেছি দিন নাই, যাব। কালি আমাৰ বিস্তাৰিত মাত হৈছে, কি নাম তোমাৰ খালগেজিৰ লগত, কালিও ফোন আহিছিল, মই কৈছো আপোনালোকে খবৰ লওক, সিহঁতো বেছি দিন নাথাকে ভাই, 10-15 দিন কা আদমি হে। যিসকলে আমাৰ ওপৰত দোষ চাপিবলৈ বিচাৰি আছে যে দোষটো ঝাপি দিব আমাৰ ওপৰত, দোষটো ঝাপি দিব আমাৰ ওপৰত, আৰু মাইনৰিটিৰ মানুহৰ ভিতৰত এটা মেছেজ যাব বোলে বিজেপি কংগ্ৰেছে বিজেপিৰ লগত বুজাবুজি কৰিছে। আমি কৈ আছো কংগ্ৰেছে 100% বিজেপিৰ লগত বুজাবুজি কৰি চলি আছে। কেনে কংগ্ৰেছে যিমান প্ৰগ্ৰাম বনাই আছে আমাৰ এৰিয়াত বনাই আছে, আমাৰ বিৰুদ্ধে বনাই আছে, আমার লগত যুঁজি আছে, বিজেপির লগত যুঁজার সাহস নাই, আর জানে যে বিজেপির লগত ভিতরে 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 সবর পুটলা চালু আছে, এইটোর কারণে চলি আছে।
Meanwhile, the opposition has named a senior Congress leader, Margaret Alva, as its vice presidential candidate. As many as 17 opposition parties unanimously decided to back Alva as the opposition vice presidential candidate. Margaret has served as the governor of states like Goa and Rajasthan. The announcement came a day after the BJP-led NDA named West Bengal Governor Jagdeep Dhankar as its vice presidential candidate. The announcement was made by NCP President Sharad Pawar. Well, Pawar informed that 17 parties are on board for this unanimous decision. And now let's listen into what NCP President Sharad Pawar said after the opposition named Margaret Alva as the vice presidential candidate.
देश के कुशल राष्ट्रपति के चुनाव के लिए हम सब के तरफ हमने एक कैंडिडेट अनाउंस करने का तय किया। कैंडिडेट आप जानते हैं श्रीमती मार्गरेट अल्वा। She was a minister in government of India. She was a Rajya Sabha member for many years. She was a governor also, and she was a person who got a vast experience in administration and in parliamentary affairs. That's why we discussed few names, and ultimately we unanimously approved the name of the Srimati Margaret Alva.
On to the Manipur landslide tragedy now. Rescue workers have recovered one more body at the Tupul landslide tragedy site in the state's None district. As per reports, the body is said to be of a local resident woman who ran a shop at the incident site. Locals believe that the body is that of Twins Liu Godonmai, a woman from a nearby locality. It needs to be mentioned here that with today's recovery, 56 bodies have been retrieved so far from the landslide site, while at least 5 others are still missing. A final call on when the rescue operations will be called off is yet to be taken. The All Tribal Students Union Manipur, or ATSUM, has reaffirmed its stand on the Manipur Hill Areas Autonomous District Council Bill 2021, urging the state government to table the bill and enact it as an act in the Manipur Legislative Assembly at the earliest. The decision was taken during the Second General Assembly of the student body at Haipi Village in Southern Hills. ATSUM, during its assembly, discussed multiple issues confronting the tribal populace of Manipur. Certain resolutions and recommendations were also adopted unanimously by the student body during the assembly. The executive members took a pledge which was named the Haipi Pledge, declaring to stand united and resolute in demanding the tabling of HAC recommended Manipur Hill Areas Autonomous District Council Bill 2021 in the Manipur Legislative Assembly for protecting the constitutional rights, customary laws, and practices of the tribal communities. Moreover, under special provisions for the tribals under Article 371C of the Indian Constitution relating to land and forest, ATSUM resolved that it will not accept any land laws or forest laws with regard to the tribals enacted by the state government, which undermines the special provision of the Hill people. The Second General Assembly was attended by ATSUM tribunal members, senior leaders, federating units of ATSUM, ANSAM and its units, KSO, GHQ and its units. Meanwhile, our colleague Lenio Kricina spoke with ATSUM General Secretary Andrea Silruang, who said that the ADC bill is a must for all-round development of the hill areas.
Andrea, ATSUM has just recently conducted its second General Assembly, during which the body has reaffirmed its stand on the HAC recommended ADC Bill 2021 and urging the state government to table the bill and enact as an act in the state assembly. Can you tell us why this bill is crucial for the hill districts or the ADC?
This has been quite long, and the development in the state of Manipur, it's quite there is a huge disparity between the hills and the valley.
Yes.
Here, the ADC bill aims to strengthen the ADC institution in the hills. So, while trying to strengthen the ADC institution in the hills, we need to restructure the institution in the hills. So we need to strengthen the bill, and then this has to be tabled in the assembly and then enacted as an act.
Last year also, we have witnessed a series of agitations, economic blockades, which were called off after talks with the government. And why has the government delayed in tabling the bill in the assembly? Why do you think so?
I don't know. Maybe they are not sincere enough to uplift the position of the tribals, maybe. Because this is a constitutional right. It is duty of the state government to table it in the assembly, discuss. Yes, maybe in the bill there are certain areas which needs to be, discussed, debate. So we are asking the state government to do the same. So maybe the state government is not sincere enough to see the affairs, like uplift the position of the tribals, maybe because of that.
My last question is, what will be your future course of action if the government continues to stand like this?
Yes, we need to mobilize. We have been mobilizing. We need to make people understand. Especially, we need to make our neighbor communities that this bill doesn't have any intention of, breaking the administration of the state. It will, in fact, bring, emotional integrity among the whole community of the state, and then it will bring equity development in the state. So it's overall. Maybe we will have to continue mobilizing. We will have to continue talking to people, the stakeholders, that this demand has to be considered.
Well, viewers, a mock drill is underway in Guwahati for the presidential polls tomorrow. And we now cut across live to Janata Bhavan, where the mock exercise is underway. Take a look. All right, so on your screens are the live visuals of the mock drill, which is right now underway in Guwahati for the presidential polls that is slated to take place tomorrow. And this is a mock exercise which is now underway at Janata Bhavan. So as stage is set for the presidential polls tomorrow, ruling opposition make last-ditch efforts to garner support. We saw earlier today that they were there to garner support for respective candidates. And on your screens, these are the live visuals of a mock drill, which is right now underway in Guwahati. And live visuals from Janata Bhavan, where you can see a mock drill exercises being going on, where Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma is also present with other BJP leaders. All right, so the mock drill exercise is right now underway at Janata Bhavan in Guwahati. And as you can see, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma is there. And this exercise is being taken ahead of the crucial presidential polls tomorrow. With that, we take a short break. Stay tuned for more news.
Railway yard where this massive landslide took place. There was a camp of the Territorial Army. There were camps of the railway. The landslide started and it came down all the way and it went down furthermore many meters down to the None River. The officials of the NDRF, SDRF, and also with the local people who are carrying out the search and rescue operations.
The Shillong Pamai, he's the exact person just lead the rescue operation from this side. This is Saroi Pandongba village. This is a river side on the Saroi Pandongba side.
कि हम और आप कभी नहीं सोच सकते थे कि डीमा हाथों में इस तरह का न्यू हाफलोंग रेलवे स्टेशन इतना कुछ हो सकता है और इसी रेलवे स्टेशन में विस्ताडून जैसा ट्रेन यहाँ पर स्पेशल टूरिस्ट आने जाने के लिए भी यहाँ पे रिसेंटली चलाया दिया गया.
You can see the people are trying. The local people are trying to help each other.
A university is much more than just a place to get your education. It not only helps you build your career, but also your personality and mindset. At Assam Royal Global University, you will get the most suitable environment to gain knowledge and also grow as a person. The university has the best infrastructure with all the required facilities and best quality equipment for any kind of educational need.
जाएंगे हम वहां जहां की हर खबर
Welcome back and on to a big story from Arunachal's TCL region. The voices of the common people against militancy in the Tirap, Changlang, Longding region of Arunachal Pradesh is growing louder. Now, the business community of Borduria village in Tirap district have raised their voices against the rampant extortion activities by the NSCN's Nikki Sumi faction. The business community of Borduria have lodged an FIR against the NSCN militant leader Lolium Late Lowang for conducting rampant extortion in the area and harassing the business community. The FIR names the dreaded militant for extorting a sum of rupees 86,000 from the business community of Borduria. With this FIR, the business community, especially the shopkeepers and small business owners of Borduria, have called upon the authorities to act swiftly and free them from the menace of militancy. Local shopkeepers and businessmen also raised a banner of protest against the harassment by militants and appealed to the government for swift action against the culprits.
हम गांव का गरीब दुकान वाला है। पूरा गांव को यूनियन पार्टी ने तंग किया है। सोडियम लेके एक्सटॉर्शन मांग कर तंग और जान से मारने का धमकी देता है। पर हम सभी दुकानदार वाले बताना चाहते हैं, हमारा पूरा गांव इंसर्जेंसी और एक्सटॉर्शन के खिलाफ है।
A self-styled Lieutenant Colonel Loilam Late Luwang has been carrying out extortion in the area and has been targeting businessmen in the name of NSCN's Nikki Sumi faction. The continued incidents of militancy and extortion have seen a strong response from the people of Tirap, Changlang, Longding region of Arunachal in the past. All right, my colleague Ripunjay Das joins us over the phone line to give us a latest on this story. Well, Ripunjay, as the voices of common people against militancy in TCL region of Arunachal is growing louder, and we can see that the business community is facing the wrath of this extortion activities, the rampant extortion activities by the NSCN's Nikki Sumi faction. What more details could you give us?
See, Pooja, the issue is quite big now because we have seen a few days ago that there were some rampant abductions in neighboring Longding district. Now, about this extortion, continuous extortion by another faction of NSCN, Nikki Sumi, which interestingly is in ceasefire, is quite alarming. Because see, these militant outfit, which whoever are in ceasefire in Nagaland, they have extended their activities in Arunachal Pradesh, and they are carrying out with their activities like extortion, threatening people, carrying out atrocities upon the common people, and extorting money that way. So this is quite double standard in one way, and also another issue that which is clearly an indication of clear violation of ceasefire ground rules. And on to the other issue, Pooja, now since these traders have shown their courage to come up in the open and protest against the extortion activities of the militants, now it is up to the administrator, particularly the Arunachal Pradesh police. They will have to take action because they have the people, what else they can do? They have even lodged an FIR in the police station. Now it will be the police which will have to act, and we would like to update, come up with an update, Pooja. We have spoken to the officer in charge of Borduria police station where the FIR has been lodged, and he has informed us that the case has been registered accordingly, and Arunachal police is in touch with their Nagaland counterpart in Dimapur, and to trace out the particular militant leader who had been named clearly in the FIR. So this is a thing which we will have to wait and watch for the next days to come. Pooja.
All right. Thank you, Ripunjay, for giving us those details. And on to the vaccination update. Well, India established a new milestone today by administering over 2 billion COVID vaccine doses months after the launch of nationwide vaccination drive on January 16, 2021. Earlier last year, the country had administered 1 billion doses within 9 months of the start of the vaccination drive. Addressing on the occasion, Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia said that it is a matter of pride for the country and India has shown the way. Meanwhile, soon after India crossed the 200 crore vaccination mark, the Union Minister also took to Twitter, calling the achievement a day to remember forever. Union Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia also launched the COVID vaccination Amrit Mahotsav at COVID vaccination camp in Nirman Bhavan on Friday and appealed to the masses to get the free dose. The centre has announced a special drive COVID vaccination Amrit Mahotsav to be launched to provide free precaution doses at all government COVID vaccination centres for persons aged 18 years and above for 75 days from July 15th to September 30th, 2022. Those eligible for the precaution dose include all persons above 18 years and who have completed 6 months from the date of administration of the second dose.
माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के मार्गदर्शन में 16 जनवरी 2021 को शुरू हुए कोविड टीकाकरण अभियान ने आज 200 करोड़ टीकाकरण का लक्ष्य पूरा कर लिया है। यह देश और देशवासियों के लिए गौरव की बात है। इतना मुश्किल लक्ष्य हमने मात्र 18 महीने में हासिल कर लिया है। जहां विश्व में कई देश आज भी कोविड महामारी से जूझ रहे हैं, वही भारत ने 200 करोड़ टीके लगाकर न सिर्फ एक नया कीर्तिमान स्थापित किया है, बल्कि हमने एक नई दिशा भी दिखाई है। मैं इस उपलब्धि के लिए सभी देशवासियों को बधाई देता हूं। साथ ही मैं इस महान कार्य को सफल बनाने में जुटे हमारे सभी साथियों, विशेषकर स्वास्थ्य और टीकाकरण कर्मियों को हार्दिक धन्यवाद करता हूं।
Meanwhile, the first Indian elected regional director of World Health Organization's Southeast Asia region, Dr. Poona Khetrapal Singh, today congratulated India for setting a new record by administering 2 billion vaccine doses within months. Dr. Singh said that this is yet another evidence of country's commitment and efforts to minimize the impact of the ongoing pandemic.
Congratulations, India, for administering over 2 billion COVID-19 vaccine doses. This is yet another evidence of the country's commitment and efforts to minimize the impact of the ongoing pandemic. COVID-19 vaccines provide protection against severe disease and death for all variants. We must continue our efforts to ensure everyone, everywhere, benefits from these life-saving vaccines. Let us not forget that the pandemic is still around. Even after taking the vaccine, we must remember to take all precautionary measures to curtail the virus spread.
Shifting focus now, 3 aircraft of international airlines made emergency landings at various airports in the country in the last 48 hours, making it a day of technical emergencies for various airlines. A senior official in the Directorate General of Civil Aviation informed that these landings were made in Calicut, Chennai and Kolkata. As per reports, all emergency landings happened because of various technical issues. The Air Arabia aircraft, while operating flight G9426 from Sharjah to Cochin, was involved in a hydraulic failure. The aircraft landed safely on the runway. The aircraft has been towed to the bay. In another incident on July 16th, an aircraft of Ethiopian Airlines from Addis Ababa to Bangkok made an emergency landing at Kolkata Airport due to a pressurization issue. In a third similar incident on July 15th, an aircraft of Sri Lankan Airlines made an emergency landing at Chennai Airport due to a hydraulic issue. Meanwhile, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation has ordered a detailed probe into all of the incidents. And earlier in the day, hours after an Indigo flight bound for Sharjah was forced to divert to Karachi after the crew noticed an engine problem, yet another Indian aircraft, this time Air India Express flight IX355 bound for Dubai from Calicut, was forced to divert to Muscat after a burning smell emitted from one of the vents in the forward galley. Back to region now. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma today launched the month-long Chief Minister's Institutional Plantation Program. On the occasion, Chief Minister Sharma planted trees at the D block of Janta Bhavan. He was accompanied by Ministers Keshav Mohanto, Parimal Sukla Boidya, Nandita Garlosa, UG Brahma, and Chief Secretary Jishnu Borwa. It may be mentioned here that the special plantation drive will be carried out for the next 1 month and conclude on August 15th.
Our internal problem to hold ki our forest department is too much occupied with Kaziranga. They do not see any other things except Kaziranga. Ami Kaziranga khon rakha korime. But what about Manos? What about Orang? What about Raimona? Kazirangat korobat jodi korobat jupuri ghor eta bonis eta forest department become hyperactive. The same thing jetia moi phone kori ko je lamdingot gos edal kati ase they become ekdom silent. The answer come very eta ami je cold blooded eta answer eta sir katise niki sir moi goi asu sir ami thanat FIR disu sir ami thanat ejahar disu. We should have enough intelligence. The forest ot kunoba manu jam boli bhabar agote jeneke ami home department ot kori asu je kunobai jehadi training lom boli bhabute ami agote gom pai tor ghorot hadir hoi jao kunobai arambho korute ami goi dhori je apuni yat ahise ar ebila koribo nalage khilikha gos edal logai apuni jaok koi. So we should try that. Ji kekhon forest ot etia notun koi enforcement or kam arambho hoise ajiloike ami entire highway stretch to ami gos puli rupon koribo pora nai. Same forest department took a initiative Horbananda Khunwal Dangoria Montri Thakute Kazirangat loi golo gos puli rolo. Probably the inauguration function has cost more, but tar pisot 4 bosor aru nobody has taken the interest. Kekhobdar Otul Dao goisil niki etu function ta pahori gol. Hitna khone moi koisilu ঘুৰি আহোতে মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী ডাঙৰীয়াক যে আপোনাক তো লৈ গল ফাংচন ডাকশন কৰিলে নেক্সট ইয়াৰ they will not raise this subject also before you তেনে মোক ইয়াত মাতি লৈছে এক বছৰ পিছত মই ধৰিম যদি গছ পুলিতে মোক কিয় নষ্ট কৰিলে না তাকে কৈছো মইতো ধৰি দিম মইতো মানুহৰ আগতে কম যদি গছ পুলি নেদেখো ভাই মোৰ সময়টো কিয় নষ্ট কৰিলি I would have spent this somewhere there যদি আপোনালোকে প্ৰগ্ৰামটো লৈছিল it should now this year you should complete it মই 21 তাৰিখে DFO ক মাতিছো Srirampurer pra moi dekha pabo lagibo khodialeke otherwise you have demoralized the office of chief minister you have compromised the office of chief minister
26 students had to be rushed to a hospital after falling sick from severe food poisoning in Tripura's Dhalai district. The incident was reported from a Chomanu Government English Medium SB school in Dhalai district. 26 students studying in classes 1 to 3 fell ill after consuming midday meal at the school. The students complained of stomach pain and started vomiting, after which they were rushed to the Chamnu hospital for treatment. Currently, the students are being treated at the hospital.
আমরা তো বাড়িতে আসলাম স্কুল থেকে আইয়া আমি এখানে খবর আইয়া পাইছি যে কিশোরী খাইয়া বলে কোথায় অসুস্থ হয়ে পড়ছে হসপিটালে আইয়া এটা ছেলেরা জানে আর কি খাইতে সময় বলে কিছু ওষুধের গন্ধ এরকম মানে অনুভব করছে তার কিছুক্ষণ পরে অনেকে ফিট হয়েছে বা পেট ব্যথা শুরু হয়ে গেছে এভাবে চলছিল আর কি
And we also have reactions coming in from the cook who had prepared the midday meal for the students.
রান্না তো করলাম স্যার ভালো ডাল রান্না দিছে দোকান থেকে আলু দিছি আজকে সবজি আমরা কিছু দিছি না ডাল চাল আলু আজকে খিচুড়ি চাল মানে আমরা তো রান্না কইরা খাবাইয়া তারা আমরা ঘরে গেছি আমার কিছু অনেক পরে ওই 11:30-12টার দিকে খাবাই গেছি তারপরে দিয়ে ইনচার্জ গাড়ি ছাত্র কাইন্দা গাড়ি লয়ে যেতে আমি ইনচার্জরা কইছি স্যার কিতা কয় আইয়া তারপর হসপিটাল গেলাম গিয়া দেখি ছাত্র 30-35 জন সিটের মধ্যে ফেলেন না কেউ কথা ব্যথা করে কেউ মাথা ব্যথা মাথা ঘুরায় ওইটা আর কি স্যার
তো অতদিন ধরে যে খিচুড়ি খাওয়াইতেছে
3 দিন তো এরকম হইছে না স্যার
তো আজকে কি কারণে হইছে
এটা কথা না এইটা তো স্যার আমারও মাথা শূন্য
এটা কি চালটি কি আগের চাল না এটা নতুন
চাল বস্তা থেকে দিছে ডাল দোকান থেকে আইনা দিছে
Shifting focus to Churachandpur now, many paddy fields previously fed by the left canal of the Khuga multi-purpose dam have not seen paddy till date, as the Water Resource Department could not clear the debris and siltation on the canal therapy, obstructing the flow of water to the paddy fields. The dam's left side canal is being manned by the KCD2 under the supervision of Alam as executive engineer. However, due to the inability of the department in clearing the debris and siltation, irrigation water from the canal could not reach the paddy fields. When the farmers' community members inquired, officials of the department responded that there is no fund for clearing the canal and further stated the lack of manpower. Therefore, the farmers took the initiative to clear on their own. Meanwhile, local MLA LM Khaute provided financial assistance to the farmers for clearing the debris and siltation of the canal, which extended to around 3 kilometers. And on Saturday, the additional DC Churachandpur Khai Khao Pao went to the spot to take stock of the situation, and this is what he had to say.
Association or the Laurup of this area, the chairman and secretary wrote a letter to DC to clear the blockage of canal for irrigation purpose. With the help of the local MLA, the farmers association took up cleaning or clearing the debris or the siltation of the left side canal so that the paddy field got irrigation of water. Residentials has objected to the clearing of the canal because the debris were blocking the roadway. I have requested the residential nearby the canal that the work or the debris should be clear so that their passage to the residents is not blocked. During the clearing, I hope that the department may also come and take initiative.
At least 6 elephants were rescued after they got trapped in a man-made pond in Gwalpara district of Assam. The incident took place at Chaibari near Lakhipur of district. Forest Department officials said that the elephants were stuck for a long time after dipping their toes into the pond. They claimed that staff members from Gwalpara Forest Division reached at the location after learning of an elephant herd that had become stranded in the pond. Officials further stated that they were evacuated after using heavy machinery to clear a path to safety. The Forest Department said that 6 elephants were left stranded in a man-made pond in Chaibari, Lakhipur in Gwalpara district. Later, the Gwalpara Forest Division employees successfully freed the elephants by digging a passageway for them to escape.
Go. Go, go, go. No. Go, go. Go.
খবৰ পালোঁ যে বুকদানা মহামিনঘাটৰ এটা পুখুৰীত হাতী ছটা পৰিছে পানী খাবলৈ আহি উঠিব নোৱাৰিলে তাৰপৰা খবৰ পাই মই লগালগ আহিলোঁ, লগালগ আহি 2খন JCB আনি পাৰ কাটি হাতীকেইটা উদ্ধাৰ কৰা হ'ল। প্ৰথম এঘণ্টামান সময় আমি হাতীৰ জাকটো ওচৰত আছিল, সেইকাৰণে ৱেইট কৰিবলগীয়া হ'ল এঘণ্টামান সময়। আমাৰ মানুহকো খেদা কৰা কৰিলে, তাৰপৰা আমি গুলি চুলি কৰি হাতীখিনি আঁতৰলৈ গ'ল। যোৱাৰ লগে লগে আমি JCBৰ সহায়ত পুখুৰী পাৰ কাটি হাতীকেইটা উদ্ধাৰ কৰা হ'ল। হাতীকেইটা বৰ্তমান সুস্থ আছে, একো হেৰি হোৱা নাই আৰু তেওঁলোকে পানী খাবৰ কাৰণে এই অঞ্চললৈ আহিছিল। এই অঞ্চলত বিশেষকৈ ৱাটাৰ লেভেলটো ডাউন আৰু অলপ টিলা মাটিবিলাক ওখ, সেইকাৰণে পুখুৰীত পৰিলে উঠিবলৈ অকণমান অসুবিধা হয়।
Well, have you heard about Northeast's first chocolate village? If not, then let's take you on a visual tour to the remote village of Daragiri Kacharipara in Assam's Gwalpara, which has gained popularity as Chocolate Village. Yes, well, the village, in fact, has become famous as the only chocolate village in the entire Northeast. And what makes the village so special is that the district administration, for the very first time, launched a mega plantation drive of cocoa seeds in the village. It is learned that cocoa plantation will be done in 72 acres of land belonging to 77 families. The task will be carried out with full cooperation with the district administration. The move is aimed at expanding homegrown chocolates across Assam as well as Northeast.
এইটো চকলেট গছটো বা কোকো গছটো এনেকুৱা যে সি শ্বেডত হ'ব লাগে অলপমান, তাৰমানে ডাঙৰ গছৰ তলত সি হয়। গতিকে সেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ যদি আমি চিন্তা কৰিব পাৰোঁ, তেনেহ'লে নিশ্চয়কৈ এইখন গাঁৱৰ যিখিনি দুখীয়া মানুহ আছে বা মানুহ আছে, যাৰ ধৰক মাটি আছে কিন্তু মানে সম্বল নাই, তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ মানুহখিনি যদি আমি লাহেকৈ এই কোকো গছ ৰোপণ কৰি পেলাই তাৰ লগত যিটো সম্ভাৱনা আছে, ধৰক আজি কোকো যিটো হয় তাৰ পৰা পাউডাৰ বনাই ধৰক আমাৰ বহুত ধৰণৰ প্ৰডাক্টছ বনোৱা হয়, যেনেকৈ চকলেট লগত ধৰক পেষ্ট্ৰিজ আদি যথেষ্টখিনি তাৰ লগত জড়িত বস্তুৰ লগত আমি কোকো পাউডাৰটো ইউজ কৰোঁ। গতিকে সেইটো যদি আমি লাহেকৈ বাহিৰত প্ৰডাক্টটো বিক্ৰী কৰিব পাৰোঁ, বা নহ'লেও ইয়াতে ধৰক আমি নিজে কেক বনোৱা বা চকলেট বনোৱা যদি এটা সৰুকৈ প্ৰতিষ্ঠান এটা কৰিব পাৰোঁ, যিটো ধৰক কেৰেলাত মই নিজে গৈ দেখি আহিছিলোঁ, কেৰেলাত তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ বহুত আছে। চাহ বাগান এখন খুলিলে চাহ বাগানৰ বিভিন্ন ধৰণৰ ভেৰাইটি উলিয়াই দিয়ে তেওঁলোকে। গতিকে কুটিৰ যিটো শিল্প, সেই শিল্পীৰ লগত মানে এই বস্তুবিলাক জড়িত হৈ যায়।
কিন্তু বাইদেৱে আজি চকলেট গছৰ গাঁও, আমাৰ কাছাৰীপাৰা ৰাজহ গাঁওটো চকলেট ৰোৱা পৰ্বটো আৰম্ভ কৰিলে। আমি বহুত সুখী, যিহেতু এজন দায়িত্বশীল উপায়ুক্ত বাইদেৱে আমাৰ গাঁওখনক আজি চকলেট গছটো ৰোপণ কৰি আৰম্ভ কৰিলে। আৰু আমি ভৱিষ্যতে আৰু তেনেকুৱা মানে চকলেট গছটো লৈ বহুত সপোন দেখিছোঁ।
On to some sports news now. Well, India's PV Sindhu today defeated China's Wang Ziyi 21-9, 11-21, 21-15 in the final match of the women's singles at Singapore Open 2022. The two-time Olympic medalist won the first game in a dominating fashion before she lost the second game. The match went into the decider where Sindhu bounced back beautifully to clinch her maiden Super 500 title of the year 2022. Wang Ziyi fought well till the end, but Sindhu's early advantage in the final game played a crucial role in the latter's victory. Earlier, Sindhu had defeated Saina Kawakami of Japan 21-15, 21-7 in a 32-minute semi-final match to enter the summit clash. The Singapore Open 2022 also happens to be Sindhu's third title of 2022 season after winning the Syed Modi International and Swiss Open BWF Super 300 titles. In a bid to improve the training of cricketers, the Tripura Cricket Association has started a players' hostel facility in the Maharaja Bir Bikram Stadium at Tripura in Agartala. The 50-seater hostel was inaugurated today by Chief Minister Manik Saha for budding cricketers by the Tripura Cricket Association. Meanwhile, the Chief Minister addressing the gathering said that the state government, under the Khelo India scheme of the central government, is emphasizing on improving the sports infrastructure across the state. Praising the role of Tripura Cricket Association, Chief Minister Saha, who was once the president of association, said that the class of cricketers being produced here is improving with various facilities being provided along with coaching under renowned cricketers. Besides, the Chief Minister was also felicitated by President of Tripura Cricket Association, Tapan Lod, in presence of other office bearers.
খেলো ইন্ডিয়ার কর্মসূচিতে খোয়াই জেলায় আরেকটি সিনথেটিক ফুটবল টার্ফ নির্মাণের জন্য আমরা চেষ্টা করছি এবং তার জন্য 5 কোটি টাকা ব্যয় হবে। শুধু তাই নয়, পানি সাগরে একটা খেলো ইন্ডিয়ার কর্মসূচিতে সেখানেও একটি সুইমিং পুল আমরা এর মধ্যে শুরু করতে যাচ্ছি এবং সেখানেও প্রায় 5 কোটি টাকা ব্যয় হবে। দশরথের স্টেট স্পোর্টস কমপ্লেক্সে সিনথেটিক অ্যাথলেটিক্স ট্র্যাক নির্মাণের জন্য আমরা ভিত্তিপ্রস্তর আমরা এখানে ফাউন্ডেশন আমরা করেছি। 1 বছরের মধ্যে নির্মাণ কাজ কমপ্লিট হয়ে যাবে এবং এর জন্য ব্যয় হবে প্রায় 7 কোটি টাকা। ত্রিপুরা সরকার খেলাধুলার উন্নতির লক্ষ্যে আমরা চেষ্টা করব। আমি কয়েকটা উদাহরণ আপনাদের দিলাম যে পয়সার কোনো অসুবিধা নেই, খালি ইচ্ছা থাকলে, তবে সদ ইচ্ছা থাকলে তবেই সেটা সম্ভব। ত্রিপুরা ক্রিকেট অ্যাসোসিয়েশনের তো কথা বলে লাভ নেই, অলরেডি আমাদের আরেকটা স্টেডিয়াম যেটা ধর্মনগরে অলরেডি কমপ্লিট হয়ে আছে, খালি ইনগুরেশন বাকি। আমি নিশ্চিত যে আগামী দিনে ত্রিপুরার ক্রিকেটে মান অনেক বেশি দূর যাবে।
The Indian Olympic Association has announced a 322-member strong Indian squad, including 215 athletes and 107 officials and support staff for the Birmingham Commonwealth Games 2022, scheduled to begin from July 28, 2022. Some prominent names in the squad includes Olympic medalists Neeraj Chopra, PV Sindhu, Mirabai Chanu, Lavlina Borgohain, Bajrang Punia and Ravi Kumar Dahiya, defending Commonwealth Games champions Manika Batra and Vinesh Phogat, as well as 2018 Asian Games gold medalist Tajinder Pal Singh Toor, Hima Das and Amit Pankal. The squad will look to improve upon its Gold Coast 2018 CWG performance, where it finished third behind traditional powerhouses Australia and England. Rajesh Bhandari, Vice President, Boxing Federation of India, has been appointed the chef de mission of the squad. Team India will compete in 15 sporting disciplines as well as 4 disciplines in the para sports category. And some of the disciplines where India looks to perform well include traditionally strong disciplines like boxing, badminton, hockey, weightlifting, women's cricket, and wrestling. Shifting focus now, the governor of Arunachal Pradesh, Brigadier B.D. Mishra, who is on an official tour to the national capital, New Delhi, released a book titled Functional Foods Processing and Packaging by Professor Dr. Tanveer Alam, Institute of Packaging, and Professor Dr. Sakit Kushwaha, Vice Chancellor Rajiv Gandhi Central University, Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh, yesterday at Arunachal House, Chanakyapuri, New Delhi. Also in attendance were Dr. Sanjay Chattopadhyay, Department of Chemicals and Petrochemicals, Professor Dr. Sarwar Alam, Dean Hamdard. The governor, while complimenting the authors, highlighted the recent works being done by the Arunachal Pradesh government in food processing and packaging sector. He reiterated the importance of packaging of traditional and ethnic food products of the region. Meanwhile, Professor Dr. Tanveer Alam presented 2 of his recently published books on packaging of fruits and vegetables and quality control of food packaging material to the governor. Have you ever seen thousands of magnificent horses galloping in unison across vast grassland of heard their thunderous hooves? Well, be prepared to be enthralled. Well, every July, the Zasu Paruri in northwest China's Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region attracts numerous tourists from across the country who head to the grassland to see the noble beast. This year's Tianma International Tourism Festival is held in Zazu County in the Ili Kazakh Autonomous Prefecture and includes fantastic activities such as dance performances and horse racing. Take a look. And while news and updates continue on Northeast Live, so stay tuned for more news. Thank you.
The Tupul railway yard where this massive landslide took place, there was a camp of the territorial army. There were camps of the railway. The landslide started and it came down all the way and it went down furthermore